I think we're live.
Hello.
Hello? Do you hear us? Do you see us? Are we alive? Are we people that exist?
Yes, we are live. I hear audio, but it would be ideal to get. There we go. Yeah, we've got Matisse
Hello,
in the chat,
Matisse.
and we are heard. Amazing.
Awesome. Welcome. Do you hear us? Do you see us? Are we alive? Why do I hear me?
Hanging,
Are we
everybody,
people
and thanks for the invite.
that
Purz.
exist? There we go. I had it open in a tab. I had double me's, but now we're good. Okay, that was actually Arturo's low. Okay, let's turn up the desktop audio a little bit. How's that?
Might be me. It might
No,
just
you're
be
good.
me.
You're good.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Is that better? Are we more balanced now? We'll just sort out these little technical difficulties before we get kicking. 3 tabs open. All right, cool. I think we're probably good. Let us know if the voices are messed up. We'll fix it. Thanks for coming, everybody. I've got Arturo here from Looking Glass, and we're going to do some fun stuff with depth maps, and I'm going to give Arturo a second here to introduce himself and let y'all know what he's about. So take it away, bud.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite. Yes, first and foremost, Arturo, thanks for rocking up to this jam that we're having with my dear friend Purz. And yes, as you mentioned, I work at Looking Glass, so I'm the community manager there. It's my privilege and pleasure and passion to get to connect with artists and creatives, creative agencies, and enterprise partners that want to use our displays, which are holographic displays like the one that you see on the corner here on screen, that let you make your 3D work and 2D work holographic. I'm a big fan of them, and I think they kind of speak for themselves, so we'll just roll with that. But thanks for having me on.
For sure. Sounds good. Yeah, I've been working with Looking Glass for a while, and I really like them, and I like making stuff on their devices. And we'll just start off by saying, like, pointing a camera at a Looking Glass is not representative of what they look like in the real world. You kind of need 2 eyes or 2 sources and stereoscopic vision to really understand what's going on. But essentially, it's a light field hologram in 3D space on a 2D display. So if you look at it in real life, it looks 3D because of magical trickery. And it's relatively easy to make content and generate depth maps and like 3D versions of your work and put them on the Looking Glass, and they look really awesome in real life. So just keep that in mind when you look at the video. It's going to be flat because it's just the way it looks. But if you were to, I don't know if I could turn it without disconnecting the thing, but and I have to pause it. But yeah, basically it's got depth to it. It's very hard to see in a moving image. It's a lot easier to see on a still image. Whoops. Ran out of HDMI. I got a really crappy HDMI cable just recently on Amazon, so I think that's the problem.
Whoops. That's technology for you, though.
Yeah, and we're down.
We'll get you.
We'll get back. We'll get back. I got faith in our abilities.
But yeah, Looking
Hey,
Glass.
I'm going to stop moving it.
There we go.
All right. But yeah, basically, check one out. Oh, some music started up. I don't need that. Oh, that's right. The Looking Glass also doubles as a Spotify remote, just out of sheer coincidence for the way the controls work on the side.
Yeah.
So sometimes it'll play some Crowded House on your computer if your computer is configured that way, but it's pretty rare. All right, so yeah, if you guys haven't been with me the last couple streams, I've been working out this monstrous UI ComfyUI workflow setup for doing basically everything you would want to do with AnimateDiff and AnimateDiff-Evolved. But today we're just gonna break it down and do something really simple. And that's take animations we've already made and generate depth maps from them, and then figure out how to put those together to display them on the Looking Glass. So yeah, we don't need, this is IP adapter stuff that I've been working on. Arturo was silly enough to send me his headshot earlier, and this video of him dancing is the result of me running him through ControlNet and AnimateDiff. So yeah,
no regrets.
Yeah, don't send me your headshot if you don't want to dance for me. And yeah, that's just an extension of the last workflow we were working on last time. So I'm just using this as a base. So I'm going to start just removing some of this stuff because we don't need it for now. But what I'm going to do is, as always, just save a copy of this workflow with today's date, 2018, ComfyUI with ControlNet, IP adapter, ADIF. I'm going to save that. And I'm not going to clear it, but I am just going to remove some stuff. So let's remove the IP adapter stuff because we don't need it. We don't need all these preprocessors, so I'm going to get rid of all the stuff that is confusing. We'll only need one of these. Actually, we might not need these at all. We're pretty much done after this step. It's kind of cool. Yeah, the rest of the stuff we can just leave off. And when you're generating stuff, what I like to do is just set my frame count or my batch count to 1, so that I'm only going to render 1 frame when the whole shaboobula is done here. Because we just want to generate the depth maps here. So let's say I finished a run and I've got a folder like an animation in my like a PNG sequence, basically the animation like we use with our workflow when we're just saving files. We use our PNG image save thing. So it's basically downloading a PNG image of each frame, and you're able to then do stuff with each one of those frames. So we're going to take this video and we're going to generate depth maps for it. Well, we're going to try. This is a long video. It takes a lot of VRAM to generate depth maps, so we might run into errors. But if we do, we'll try a workaround and try and fix it on the fly and see if we can get it going. But yeah, basically what I've found so far is Zoe depth maps are the best for animations, because one of the biggest problems I was having before when I was making these animations for Looking Glass was with the deforum style of animation, you got that sort of flip book animation. So when things change, the depth changes a lot from frame to frame, which causes the image on the screen to sort of move towards and away from you like really fast, and it's like kind of disorienting. So what I found is these Zoe depth maps are just incredibly clean and smooth, and because AnimateDiff animations are clean and smooth, you get really nice 3D animations because of the combination of the the two things. So let's take our image sequence. So we've got our image sequence loader here, and we're gonna go to the folder where we just were, which was our throw dancing. Where are you, bud? You're hiding in one of these folders somewhere.
So organized.
Oh yeah, I mean, gotta be organized, right?
My comfy output folder just feeds all into the same thing right now.
Yeah, that's one thing I changed in between the last workflow and this one, which I can go through, is adding folders to the front of your outputs so that it's sorting stuff before you ever have to. Because I had to sort 2 or 3 months of comfy stuff, and it was just,
ouch.
Yeah, it sucked. So yeah, don't do that. When you remember stuff, that was always the best for so a depth map is only going to work if it works. So you can try all the other ones. I'm just saying the other ones are extremely flickery even with this method, and the flickers are the worst possible thing. So it's really just if the depth map works, your animation will work. If it doesn't work, it's probably not going to work, and that's okay. You just try another animation. There's a chance you won't be able to generate good depth maps for every animation. That's just sort of like part of the gamble.
Is this in response to Daniel's question?
Yeah. He said when you work with style. Yeah, if you want to
some color there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also largely depends on what the model was trained on. So if the model, because I know that some of them have been trained specifically on like comic books or 2D animations, then some models might output a better resulting depth map than others. But as Purz said, generally speaking, if it works, it will work, which is not a necessarily like a best answer, but it's just true. If the image lends itself well to a depth map getting generated, then most of the time it doesn't really matter which model you're using. Some will pick up on subtleties that others won't, like facial features or background imagery, but generally speaking, that's the case.
All right, so here
I'm gonna have a lot of questions, Purz and everybody watching, because I've just recently started following the like the stream series and getting more, in the nitty gritty of Stable Diffusion and ComfyUI. So I've just set up my ComfyUI to be able to take some of the same LoRa's and models that I was using with Automatic 1111 and use them here. But I will occasionally pipe in with a please explain like I'm 5 what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah. Super down for that. Okay, so what we're doing now is loading a PNG sequence, which is the animation that we just made. We're loading that into a Zoe depth map preprocessor, which is part of the ControlNet nodes, which is available on the, I believe it's on the AnimateDiff-Evolved thing. Yeah, so at the very top of the AnimateDiff-Evolved GitHub, they kind of tell you which node packages you're going to want to get for ComfyUI. Like I covered this in the other video that's linked in the description, but if you don't want to go back and you are like halfway installed here, just make sure you have all this stuff installed, because you're going to need fizz nodes for prompt travel. You're going to need the advanced ControlNet stuff for doing pre-processing and like some of the more advanced stuff that we're doing. You're going to need the video helper suite to generate the videos from AnimateDiff, and you're going to need the ControlNet auxiliary for the preprocessors that aren't in thing all together, that aren't already in it.
Do these all go in your? Yep, never mind. It says it right there. If installing manually, these go in your custom nodes folder.
Yeah, but I always recommend using Comfy Manager. So just install them with Comfy Manager, or if you load up my workflow from my Discord and you have Comfy Manager installed, you can just click install missing custom nodes and it'll fix all your packages for you.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
is that in creative or
you want to get ComfyUI Manager? Do you have ComfyUI Manager?
I do. I followed your other video.
Yeah, okay. So in ComfyUI Manager, you go in Manager and then it'll say install missing custom nodes. So if you ever have like red nodes in a workflow that you've picked up, that just means that they're missing. So all you have to do is go Manager, install missing custom nodes, and it'll go through, figure out what you're missing, install it, and then it'll tell you to reboot Comfy to get it to finish installing. So it's pretty quick. They've also recently added a update all, which just goes in and updates all of your packages that you have installed without you having to deal with it, and it's a blessing. Awesome.
Great.
All right. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I was using Olivio's like workflow for having it like instantly update for you, which is pretty amazing because I can't have all that stuff. But which server was your workflow in?
It's on my Discord, which is on my website, Purz.xyz. At the very top. Come on in the Discord, and it's in the resources forum page thing with all the other cool stuff. I got a couple mask packs there for ControlNet stuff and some open pose animations to get you started with all this stuff. Yeah. And that's just on whoops, not back to YouTube. I'm gonna go to site. Yeah, so that's just a big Discord link right here. Click that. You can join my Discord and grab all that stuff off of the resources folder and hang out and all that. And I've mentioned it before, but I haven't mentioned it tonight. I do have a Patreon. If you like these videos and you want to support, you just head on over there and join. Everything's free, so like you don't really get anything for joining aside from access to a couple extra channels on the Discord, and you get the supporter role on the Discord and lots of love from me. But I'll be building out packages for Patreon stuff later, but my main idea is not to put the knowledge behind the wall, but maybe some of the more convenient stuff like asset packs and stuff to get you started. I'll put that behind the sort of behind the supporter wall, but the knowledge I think I'm always going to keep on the free side. So feel free to subscribe even as a free user, and you'll get to know when these streams are and become part of it. And we all hang out on the Discord and have a good time. Everybody's chill. And if you have questions, there's a lot of knowledgeable people in there now, so it's not just me answering the questions anymore. There's lots of people with the ability to help you out really fast. So yeah, come on in. All right, let's get all the ad stuff out of the way, and we'll go back to ControlNet. We're loading a PNG sequence into the Zoe depth map thing. We've got that from the top of the AnimateDiff-Evolved thingamajig, and we've got it plugged into an image save, which is part of the WAS node suite, which is in here. The WAS node suite. Highly recommend it. It's got a lot of really good file management and image processing nodes that are extremely handy. Yep. So, and then it also this will let you save like a PNG sequence with, timestamps and stuff. So you like get them into separate folders. They're not all in the same folder. Oh yeah. So this stuff's all in the workflow. So if you load up the workflow and load up the missing nodes, it'll all install it all. And then a preview image to see our depth maps. So let's do that. I have pre-processed and depth in front of the file names for mine. So they show up in depth folders under pre-processed blah, blah, blah.png. Let's hit it. This is the dance animation that's loaded up. Yep. Image goes into here. Image goes out. The preprocessors are super easy to use. They literally just pre-process files. And I broke something. Let's find out what I broke. Okay. Why are you mad? Start index is 0. Maybe I have to say how many frames there are? Let's see. How many frames are there? 285.
Our restart and refresh. Consider me, if you're listening, consider me the little like 7-year-old tugging at Purz's Purz's pants, going like, "Hey, can you explain this really quickly?"
Why is this not working?
Is refresh the same as restart?
Where this refresh button?
Yeah.
No, this one just refreshes the UI. So if you've put new models in a folder, you can hit refresh to make it refresh like all the folders. But if you need to restart Comfy, there's no substitute for shutting it off and turning it back on, because doing that makes it then run the installation scripts to actually finish installing the nodes. The nodes will not work until you have restarted Comfy. Oh, yes. I get this question a lot. How to have straight lines and not curves for the lines between the nodes. That is in this little tiny cog up here. You see this little tiny gear up here? You click that and you scroll down to link render mode. Link render mode. You want to change that to straight, not spline. Spline is the curves. Linear are lines that go straight to their destination, and straight are the ones that go boop, boop. They cut like circuit boards. They go over, up, over. Or over, down, over. So the ones I use are straight, just because it helps me keep my brain. You can see where everything's going without the soupy noodles. Soupy noodles. Nobody likes soupy noodles. Oh, I know why it's broken. Because I'm using the checkpoint IPA in my workflow, but I no longer have that thing set anymore. So go back to our regular checkpoint, and what do you say? Let's change this back to 0, because I think that was a workaround we didn't need. Yeah, there we go. We're loading the images into the memory. Now it's doing a depth map for each one of the frames. Every time my phone gets a message, the looking glass display rings. Wiggles. All right, there we go. Put you on silent mode.
How many years does it take for your machine to generate these depth maps?
Well, these ones are only 512 by 512, so they're relatively fast. I was trying some 1536 by 1536 or 1536 by 2048 ones, and oh no, we ran out of VRAM pretty quick. One thing I do like is this app called NVI Top. NVI Top. It's you can, if you have Python stuff installed on your computer, you can just go to your command window and type pip install NVI Top. But what it does is it tells you, let me make this a little bigger here. It tells you how much VRAM you're currently using on your card, and like it's up to the second. So when you're doing these operations, you can find out if you're exceeding your memory usage on your video card, if your VRAM's going over and spilling into your shared memory, things are going to go like 1/24th of the speed that they should be going. So you never want to water wheel your VRAM into your RAM unless you're willing to wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times as long to get the operation done. And like this operation here took 16 gigs of VRAM. So generating these depth maps takes a really long time when you run out of VRAM. And that's probably what's happening for most people with 8 gig cards. It's what used to happen to me when I had my 8 gig card. When you're generating these batches of depth maps, it's very VRAM hungry. But if we look at this, We can tell right now
Yeah,
by this preview whether it's going to be okay, and it looks pretty good.
that's pretty great.
I think it's going to be all right.
And no, you can't download more VRAM.
And yeah, unfortunately, you can pay NVIDIA lots of money for more VRAM. That's pretty much the only way. Well, that's not true.
NVIDIA, if you're
Actually,
listening.
there are solutions now. They're working on a ComfyUI sort of platform for doing this stuff on Run Diffusion, and I believe you can do this on RunPod. I think you can do it on Google Collabs. So like, if you're running out of VRAM and you have very specific operations you want to do, just grab a couple hours with a GPU and do it all. Sit down, do it all at once. You know, hop in Comfy, create all your depth maps, create the animations you wanted to create. You know, all that stuff. We got a couple extra.
So what's happening there with that?
Oh, so because we just finished doing all the doing that we were doing, but because Comfy is a diffusion engine, it needs to have all the diffusion stuff hooked up. So I still have it running through the rest of my path, but I have the thing set to a 1 frame animation, which just makes absolute gibberish very quickly. You know what I mean? So if I forget to shut it down after I'm done this, it's not going to sit there and do a 20 frame animation that I don't need it to do. So, or, you know, 96 frame animation I don't need it to do. That's just a workaround to keep to be able to do these, you know, and thing. Google Collab and Kaggle banned Comfy, and okay, so never mind. Forget Google Collabs then.
I'm not sure I followed what that like preview image that you have right there on the right,
These?
top of frame. Yeah, it's generating that. So what are we looking at?
Well, this is an entire animated diff workflow that generates animations. But in order to have a coherent animation, an animate diff animation has to have at least 16 frames, because that's what the temporal thing is trained at. But my workflow that I'm working on right now, I only want to do this step. I don't care about the rest of this. So what I did was I set it to have a 1. This is my frame max frame counter. So my animation is set to 1 frame. So all it's going to do is just going to generate a 1 frame animate diff animation and spit it out real quick. And that saves my GPU from having to do a long animation run after I've just done this one thing I wanted to do. So like this, if you just want to run a few depth maps through, just turn that thing down and get it kicking. SageMaker Studio Lab working now, 16 gigabytes VRAM, 4 hours a day. Huh. Is Studio Lab free? Is SageMaker Studio Lab free, or it's 4 hours a day is not bad for free. But if it's not free, okay. Image load cap, blah blah blah. So let's try a few more, and then we'll assemble them in the we'll assemble them on the app and see how they look on the Looking Glass. What's another good one? This one was cool. Let's have a look at this one.
Let me get you a little these like rotating Lacy Susan type.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. There's got to be some little thing, right? Like a display USB turntable display thing. Where'd you go, DJV? Come on back. Okay, whatever. We'll just run this one, see what happens. This one, because it is not like let me find the example because it's not playing properly. That's a PNG. Where are you? 24 frame. There you go. This one might not work because it's like just a lot of colors and a lot of stuff. So we may not get a good depth map, but it'd be a good way to test. So let's find the upscaled version.
I'm so distracted by me dancing.
Here's the upscaled version. All right, let's load this in. So I ran this, I upscaled it to 768. So like it's good to know the file size of your, PNG sequence. It's not super important. You can run them at 512. It'll work. It'll be fine. But if they have the same resolution, they're going to have very similar cutouts. It won't be as blurry on the edges and stuff. It's not really noticeable, but every little bit helps in getting it like super razor clear and coherent. So we've just loaded our thing, our PNG sequence. We're loading it into the Zoe depth maps. We're saving it and previewing it. Cute.
Apparently, SageMaker Studio is free after you register.
Nice.
Cool. If true. Cool.
It's free after register. 8-hour CPU usage, 4-hour GPU. That's great though. 4 hours GPU a day is better than nothing. I miss the good old days when you could just sit on Google Collabs for days and days and days at a time.
Mm.
I know they don't miss it, but I do.
How trippy. One.
So yeah, Comfy used 14 gigabytes of VRAM, 14 gigs to do that. So, you can do batches in Automatic 1111, and I believe it uses less overhead VRAM. I might be wrong about that. I don't think it loads the whole batch in at once. So, if you are having VRAM troubles, if these are taking forever in Comfy, try the Automatic 1111 depth map generator. Automatic 1111 depth map.
And if you're tuning
Nigate,
in,
that's him.
and you're like, what is all this stuff?
Hey, Shadow. All right.
welcome.
Twitch. Just trying to get overlays for Twitch. I might have to make my own because they'll suck. This is going to be nonsense. See how flickery it is? This is just going to be absolute nonsense and garbage. So that's just a good way to know to not even bother. I can't even show you what it'll look like because it'll look fine on a camera, but in real life, this is nauseating. You want to try to avoid this sort of thunderstorm flickering stuff that's happening. So let's see. What else do we have? Let's try the flowers. Will DJV work for us today? There we go. So we'll try this one. I think this will look cool on the looking glass, hopefully.
Yeah.
Bloop. All right. Say you just grab the path of the folder you want to turn into a thing and drop it in here. If you don't have a PNG sequence, don't sweat it. There's a load video. You just load video. It's part of the VHS nodes, the ones that I talked about earlier that are on the AnimateDiff-Evolved GitHub. You want to load video or load video path. Load video path is obviously a path to a PNG sequence. Load video is for just loading a straight up MP4 or MOV. So if all you have is a MP4, an MOV, whatever output, you could totally just use this node instead of this one. Plug the stuff in where it's supposed to go. Image goes into image. The reason I have this stuff here and this extra set node is that I can build this workflow so that you can start with just a regular thing and you can pull it into any type of control net you want. Then drop it in here, have it load it into that control net, and then push it through. So, like, there is a process here of just starting with just a straight, like, you know, just a simple render or something you've got, and then just going the whole nine with it. So all you have to do is just run everything through the variables, or just plug everything in and let it go. The reason I use the variables is because then when it comes time to render stuff, I can do stuff like make decisions, like with the animate diff loaders, for instance. I can either load the vanilla checkpoint, or I can load the checkpoint with the it's gone now, but I had the checkpoint with the IP adapters stuff up here. So like you can make that decision right there. Either if you want IP adapters, you either load it with, and if you don't want IP adapters, you load it without. So we can route stuff to variables and then use those variables as switches to decide how we want to render this stuff through. And that's why I'm using this workflow, because it's modular. It's easy to disconnect the rest of the run. Like right now, I also have an upscale run that's completely disconnected because it takes too damn long. It's fine when you're at home working, but on Twitch, it's, 2 or 3 times as long to render the upscaled version. I mean, they look cool, but it takes forever. All right. Flowers. I think I already did this, but let's double check. Yep, I did. All right. We know you're 768, so let's cue it. Yeah, I like watching you dance, man.
Wow, our portraits are synced right now. That's crazy.
That's the AI, man.
Yeah, it's taking over.
Oh, also, there's a link in the Discord below. If you are really interested in getting a looking glass, you can get 10% off if you use my promo code in the description. Just click that and check it out.
In the chat too.
Yeah, they're really, really awesome to have on your desk, especially if you do any kind of 3D stuff. Be able to just see it is really awesome. So this one's flickery, but we've got really good definition in the flowers, so I'm going to try it because I think it's going to be all right. But, might not. So it's saving all the images. Let's let it go.
Yeah. If you're watching and you do 3D work or 2D work, you can view it in 3D on one of our displays. You can also use Blocks, which is our hologram sharing platform. And I'm going to post a link to that in the chat too. essentially, whether you're doing something, I want to say as advanced as the stuff that you're seeing here today, or you want to get started and haven't, don't want to necessarily dive a little too deeply into this, you can also generate depth maps by just uploading images to blocks.
Yeah.
And that will actually use some similar algorithms to create a depth map that you can use for
Works awesome for
whatever.
stills, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anything you made in Midjourney or Stable Diffusion, all that. Phone pics.
I'm going to paste a link to that in the chat too. And it's finally out of beta, so you don't have to wait anymore. You can just sign right up and start using it. And I believe everybody gets 20 generations or something like that a month if you want just to start. But of course, if you're a friend of Purz's channel or a friend of Purz, you can reach out and we can see about getting you more.
An FOP.
I always love to see what people are making.
All right. Upscaling. I use Topaz, so I'm just gonna do that.
Wait, is there a Topaz node?
No.
Oh, okay.
So upscaling in Comfy it's all right. I would really recommend just using something like Real ESR GAN or even the automatic 1111 batch upscaler, something you already know. The upscalers work. They just load everything into memory as a batch, so it can get a little hairy VRAM wise in Comfy. I'm sure there's workarounds for it. I'm just not aware of them.
What about outpainting?
What about it?
Is that any more complicated with Comfy than it was with automatic 1111? Because I'm trying to make like a kind of portrait, like a hologram, like the one that you have right there, right? But if I do it in 512 by 512, or I try to blow it up to something that's like a 9 by 16 aspect ratio, for example, and then I start to get all this weird double head situation because it's not really trained for that dimension.
Well, that's where ControlNet. That's where like ControlNet guidance is like the best. Like this one, the one of you dancing, for instance, that is going to work at any resolution because the ControlNet skeleton of the open pose is skeleton shaped and doing skeleton things. So like it knows where to draw, what to draw. And but also SDX
go-to moves.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. It knew.
You were saying about SDXL.
But SDXL is really good at multi-res, so I think that's a problem that's going to go away over time. But for right now, ControlNet is your best bet in getting coherent composition, controlling the composition of your images so that they do stuff. Like if I ran just your IP adapter image and just the prompt man dancing in New York City Club or whatever I had for yours, it would be all over the place. You go blah, 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 like he'd be like jumping everywhere and going everywhere. But because we have the open pose of the skeleton dancing, let's see if I can pull that up. Comfy open pose preprocessed. Because we have the oh yeah, you don't work, do you? Jeez. Too many things open. Because we have this, it's able to understand where to put everything. Knows where to put the face, knows where to put the body, knows not to put two heads because there's only one, You're literally telling it what to do, what to.
And so was that that was an open pose, not one that you scraped from somewhere?
Yeah, I pulled it off of a Pexels video, CC0 video on Pexels. But I mean, you could just grab them off of Instagram clips. Any clip of anyone dancing, you can just extract the open pose stuff. I have a couple of videos back. I think open pose is in the title, and there's a whole workflow about an hour in for open pose extraction and injection into new animations. So,
amazing.
Yeah. You can just start with cut together a 10-second dance loop and then make an animation out of it using the open pose.
It's really funny as I've been watching these videos and getting myself more familiar with ComfyUI and these stable diffusion workflows, because what I generally use, like have been using heavily, is Midjourney and DALL-E. But as I've been playing around with these and watching your videos, then you'll be working on something related but different and send me a message.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I never stop talking to you because you've just been talking to myself, to me, and to the chat in all these videos. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I never shut up until I do shut up for long periods of time. Let's go 960 by 720 for these, just to test them out. 960 by 720, which is 720 by 960, but 720 times 2, which is 1440. I knew that. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knew that one.
Everybody
Except
knows
we're all
that.
here kind of like, why didn't we?
Rendery renders. I want my, what did I just make? I want comfy output. Where's our dancer? Where's our dancing friend? There's our dancing friend. That's the long one. Yeah. All right, we got our dancing friend, but he's tall, so we're gonna have to. I want to crop these down, but in a not dumb way, and this would be a dumb way. Is that pixels? Oh, it is, but it's the gross kind of pixels. Okay, it's normally I would just upscale these in Topaz and clip the edges, but I'm trying to work without Topaz for people who don't have it because it ain't cheap.
Although this is not a sponsored by Topaz video.
Black Friday
they
it
are
does go
having
on sale, yeah.
Some kind of sale soon for something, and I use it all the damn time.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Okay, let's figure this out. Is 960 no, wait, what?
Yeah, keep saying numbers. We'll get there.
Does it end right at the thing? Okay, because it's 960 wide. So what's no, that's not gonna work. I can't math. How do we unmath? We gotta math this. We're gonna math it hard. I know how to math it. Let's go new project. We're just gonna math it. We're gonna math it.
Get it.
We're gonna math it by feel, not actual math, because actual math is scary. All right, new project. Let's go. Come on. All right.
I had a script, which this is going to be useless information, but I already started the sentence.
Mhm.
I had a script that could smack two images together for this exact purpose, but then you'd have to like run FFmpeg to make it into a video.
Yeah, yeah.
I will dig that up and then send it your way so we can post it if people want to do this on their own.
720 by 960. Is that the res? I think so. The res that works for this. Excuse me. Thank you. All right. Resolve. Yeah. Bow, bow, bow. All right. Let's zoom in on that. Excuse me. Zoom in on that. Oh yeah, looking good. 133. Zoom in and have a look at the top. Looks like a little bit more.
Looks like me.
A little bit more. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, it looks just like you. Eh? It really nailed your likeness. I like how your face flickers like that in real life.
It does. Yeah. Doctors.
They'll figure it out someday.
Yeah. Doctors don't know why.
Okay.
You won't believe your eyes.
Arturo dance left. Save it to the videos, render. And then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to drop the depth map on top, which was in AI Comfy. And remember, I made a whole thing about how I made a separate folder for it. So there it is.
Wow.
Isn't that nice?
Also,
ready to
we
go.
don't play
Hey, look,
music
they're even
here
the same
'cause
length. So we're going to copy this. We're going to paste this, and we're going to, or I used Alt V to paste that. And then we're going to do the video attributes. No, all we want is the zoom. So now they should be the same. The same. That looks pretty good. Yes.
We don't play music here, so we don't get copyright stricken. But
It's
you're
true.
welcome to play your own
Damn
track
right.
to watch me dance.
Yeah.
So you can make me dance to whatever you want.
Just make it sexy.
Make it suggestive.
And then Arturo dance. Right. Yeah. All right. Splabbity bleep blop goodly gop doop. And then that's done. And now we go file, new project, create. So we have two videos that are, we can do this math. I promise we can do this math. Videos. Let's look at this.
Pulls out calculator.
Sort by date. Okay, we got our two. Let's look at the properties, the details, and we got 720 by 960. So we need to do 960 high by 720 times 2. So 1440 by 960 so that we can get the two videos side by side.
Nailed it.
So let's go back into Resolve, change the project settings to 1440 by 960. And then we're going to grab both of those videos we just made, scoop and doop, poopty scoopty whoopty whoop, and unlink them from each other. Resolve sometimes, I swear, side by side. This one will go, I believe, 720. Yep. And you will go 720. And oh yeah, look at that.
Hey.
So what we have now is the image we need on the left and the depth map on the right, synced up, dancing, doing very funky things. So let's, the other thing I'm going to do is because Looking Glass has this little thing where like when they loop, they sometimes have a little bit of a blip between them. It's sort of like when you play a video on the web. So I'm just going to do like 3 of them in a row so that we get a couple runs through it before it skips on to the next enemy. I believe there is a way to say how many times you want them to loop, maybe in the metadata. I can't remember when you're actually putting them on the device. But, I think there is in the metadata. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you can change the duration. That's right.
Dance, LKG, no, LKG, Arturo Dance. All right. 1440 by 960, 24 frames per second. Save. And one thing before we go. The app really prefers MP4s. You can do MOVs, you just have to rename them, but it really prefers MP4s. So render as MP4 if you're putting this stuff in the Looking Glass app. Over to Looking Glass Studio. Take that video we just made and drop it where it says drop holograms. Right? This is a my computer thing. This is not the app. My computer does this all the time. I don't get it. I never will.
You can also click on...
Maybe because it's playing. There we go. So I think it's because it was playing. All right. We have a fuzzy Arturo dancing on our screen. So let's pull in our depthiness. Yeah. And I'll pull our focus out so he's a little closer to the screen. Depthiness. Focus back a bit. Depthiness up. And he's dancing. Oh, he is dancing. In 3 dimensions. Way to go. That's you.
Well, that is me dancing. Send me that hop.
Yes. So export Purz dance. Oops, no, we do this later. Select folder. No videos. And blue. And drop that there and go back to our thing, and hopefully that fixed the Discord display. And yeah, nice. All right. Boom. Yeah, you could totally boomerang it. Totally. Yeah, look, he's dancing in a little box in 3D and everything. Oh, you know what? I'm going to send you the video too so you can set your own depthiness and focus. I don't have a great view on my Looking Glass because of the camera setup.
I can do that.
But yeah, can you do it with the hop? Nice. All right, cool. The hop's just a zip file basically.
But it retains all of the
metadata,
depth and focus information.
Depthiness. That is my favorite slider, the depthiness slider. Okay, we have a workflow now, so let's save this project. Save, and now let's do a new project. And same deal. We're gonna export these as 720 by 960. Bloop. And we're just gonna go through our workflow like we did on the last one. Grab
this looks hilarious.
Grab the frames from the animation, zoom them in. So I believe it was like 1.33, 34. Yeah, 1.34. All right, cool. And then we grab the depth, drop it in. And now one is longer than the other. No, it's not. Oh, I see what's happening here. You got to drag the folder in. 1.34. You'll be 1.34. And if we zonk that a bit, should be lined up. So we'll hide this one and we'll render. I mean, at this point, I wonder now. I guess you can't have multiple timelines with different resolutions in Resolume. That would just be too easy.
Wait, Resolve?
Oh yeah, Resolve.
Yeah, you can. You can do right click on timeline 1 or duplicate timeline 1.
Duplicate timeline 1.
I
Duplicate
was wondering why
timeline.
you were. I was gonna make a joke about this. All right, right click time and then go to timelines, and then timeline settings, and then unclick use project settings.
Oh, sick. So 1440 by 960 for the second timeline.
I was gonna say earlier, but I didn't know if it was
So
gonna
that's
be
interesting. So then I can make.
inappropriate. Like, if you don't want to do this like a madman and make a new project every time.
But I am a madman.
A mad lad indeed.
But yeah, but then we also have the issue of it doesn't matter because the stuff hasn't been processed into the stuff it needs to be processed into anyway yet. Still have to render them.
Not yet.
I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
still have to render them.
Yeah, you still have to render them.
That's a pain in the butt. All right. There's probably a way to do this with
But you
compositing
can-
actually very
But
easily.
if you yeah, like render 1/2. You mean, or like
Yeah, I gotta.
crop
Yeah,
it?
it needs to
But
be Krisnopped.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could figure it out with angles and math, but I'm just all right. Export. We know how to go deliver you, and we're gonna call this LKG flowers left. Blanc. Blanc. Oops. Well, yeah, that's fine. And then the other one will be deliver flowers right. That bloop bloop. But now I can just
And-
go into the other timeline and do the compositing of them.
And these naming conventions are just for cleanliness and stuff. You don't actually have to name it that, but it obviously helps if this is the workflow that you're following to keep track of which is which half.
Nah. Just use random
Just do
random
what you
numbers and
want.
guess. Yeah, just use random numbers
Yeah.
and just guess.
Don't ever name the same file.
No.
Wait, what? Name the same
Unlink,
file twice.
go away. Yeah, thank you. And then you come over here. Yes, and go away. Boop. And now gloop, bloop, bloop. You're going to be
Oh my
position
God,
negative
Steven
720.
Scott's here.
I know
Hello,
that guy.
Steven Scott.
720. There we go.
Hands for me.
Same deal. I'm going to render this a couple times so it doesn't flash.
Ooh, I'm excited for this one.
That'll be good. And what? Deliver. And okay, G flowers. And what did I say? MP4. Yeah. Okay, cool. And now looking glass. Pause. Got the Windows bug where it takes 3 months to sort your folder. I wonder if it's because of all these loose.
What is it?
Wonder if it's because of all these loose videos in the root.
No.
I don't think so. There's no way.
No way.
Okay, so what if I make a new folder, right? And we call it 202310. Yeah, so like the this month. And then we take diddles, we go like everything except the file we're working on right now. Like right now. And we just drop
I'm
those
so
in
glad
there.
to see that.
And then we go back to this and it's like a lot
you're
easier to
clean.
deal with. Yeah, see, everything's fine. Everything's done. Everything's clean. I never have to look at that folder ever again. I can create another month's worth of stuff and just not even worry about it. Looking Glass Studio. I just find you have to restart it sometimes to get the this interface to work. It's not a big deal. All right. Play.
Hey.
That one's a little wiggly. So let's try our
Something
focus.
depthy, though.
Focus back it a bit, and then depthiness, just chill a bit, focus up a bit. Oh yeah, depthiness, get it right in there. Oh, that is trippy.
Yeah. If you put your mouse over, you probably already know this.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, move over there, zoom in one, and then it doesn't clip on the edges. Beauty.
Ooh.
Beauty. That's really cool. I wish you guys could see it in real life. Well, I mean, Arturo can.
Yeah, this is mostly for me.
Yeah.
And anyone that wants to get a looking glass
RGB
with the look.glass /Purz link.
Hit it up.
But in all seriousness, if you're at all interested, I think Blocks would be a really good place to start uploading your 2D or 3D work. There's an active community of people that are constantly posting stuff on there, and it's just a fun way to see your work. I love how all of the outfit changes in my video of me dancing are actually things that I either own or would wear.
It just knows. It just knows.
The shoes, though, the shoes are actually, there's some changes in there that
I broke it.
Like, oh, maybe
Okay,
I should wear
so
that.
let's go back to timeline 1. All right. Well, this is still a pretty cool workflow for building stuff out. Delete all this crap. Well, not yet. Okay. We have one more, I believe. Did I do 3? Oh no, the other one was sucked, right? I believe the other one sucked. Yes, the other one sucked. Okay. So that's the basic workflow for taking these animations and building out depth maps for them and then getting them onto the looking glass. So that pretty much covers that part of the thing tonight. So what's another cool thing we can do with the looking glass? Well, still images are, it's a lot easier to do with blocks now. We don't really have to deal with still images stuff. So this was really mainly for animating animated depth maps and doing stuff like that. So just do another animate diff animation and see what we get. Let's reset up our system here so we're not pulling depth maps out of stuff. I'll show you how to rebuild the workflow to do actual animate diff work. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Just unplug everything. That's it. Just unplug it. So you can leave it there. It's fine. All right, so we're loading stuff from ControlNet. So let's have a look. I've made a bunch of masks. You can get them on my Discord, but I'll just grab one at random and we'll try making some cool stuff. So X movies, Blender, PNG, mask loops. Here we go. Let's try. Yeah, these are all free, available on my Discord. Go ahead, grab them. Grab them and play. Grab them and play. I like this wavy oceany one. This one might be kind of cool. So you just copy his path, paste it into here, and make sure it's set to 24 frames per second. It's not skipping any frames at the front. And you're selecting every one-th frame. Every one-th. If you want to do your video at double time, you would select every 2th. If you want to do your video at triple time, you would select every 3rd. In this case, we want every 1th.
So on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. Until you have to plead the 5th.
My
3th. Yeah, 3th.
Sense was tingling.
Okay.
All right.
That's enough. How many frames is that animation? I don't remember. So in that case, let's go 140 because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That should loop every 1th frame. Wave ocean. So yeah, we're loading a control net. We're going to use the QR code control net, which is this one. We're going to set the strength to about 0.45 because we don't want it to be like completely white. And what's a cool prompt? Let's try flowers washing up on the shore of a tropical beach at sunset. Beautiful sun-kissed sands and ocean waves. Yeah. 512 by 512. Just 140 won't take too long, I don't think. Maybe like 6 minutes. You're good. All that stuff's good. Upscaler is disconnected. I also have this really cool pixelate workflow that I'll go through later for making like cool Game Boy style animations. All right. And I should go over this interpolation thing later. I'll do it while it's running, while the thing's running. Go cute. All right, so we're loading our stuff from the right place. Yep, we're gonna load our control net. We get 140 frames. We did. Do they loop? We can check. Yep. Wait, does it? No, it does not. It must be 280 frames. So let me stop this. Because if it's 180 frames, all I need to do is select every 2nd frame, and then it'll go twice as fast. And it should be done by the time we get to the end. Yeah? Yeah. All right, let's try that again. So now we're loading every other frame. So if it was a 280 frame animation, now it's 140 frames, which means it'll go twice as fast, but it should land in the right spot. Test my theory very quickly here. Will it loop? Will it loop? It loops. All right, so we have a perfect loop. So that's going to give us a perfect loop when the animation's done, because ADiff is out of this world.
That's awesome.
Here we go. We can watch all the numbers. I know you guys like watching things render. It's super fun. It's definitely my favorite part of this whole thing. How do you get it to play the mask? You click in the preview image. It will in the preview image, you can basically just hold down the right arrow key once you've clicked on one, and you can go through the frames. You can do that with anything that loads an image sequence. Bypass group is fine, but it breaks with the get set nodes. And I think it's very ugly, and there's a few other problems with it that drive me absolutely insane, so I don't use it. But if it works for you, it works for you. When I bypass groups with the bypass group thing, they're unbypassable again. You have to go in and unbypass everything manually, and it makes me want to stop using Comfy. So, yeah. I just route stuff around and remember where it's supposed to go. But again, this is my workflow, you know. It's not for everybody. If you just use this as a starting off point, rebuild it the way you want to use it, and you know, make your own. That's the whole beauty of Comfy. You know, this is all Frankenstein from other people's workflows. You can even make custom nodes with like full config files in them and route stuff around. That's what I would do if I was trying to make this more user-friendly. Just have like a big node that has all the stuff in it. You just select what you want. Forget about the rest of this crap. Because really, all you need to know is how many frames, what you want to do with it, and what the input source material is, and what QR codes to use, right? Yeah, but I mean, I'm only disconnecting the upscaler, and yeah, that's it. Everything else runs.
Ellie just got home and is enthralled by my dance moves, both in hologram form and non-hologram form.
Pretty great.
Hi, Purz.
How's it going?
I didn't expect to be coming home to Purz teaching Arturo how to dance.
Yeah.
The internet.
I didn't
And the
even have to.
internet. Hello,
I just
internet.
trained an AI to teach him how to dance. I didn't even have to do any work. It was great.
Oh, man.
The future
Is
here.
this work for me? Yeah.
Here's here. Look at those moves. It's also so distracting. So,
Yeah. Go. If you want to join the stream, join the chat.
Yeah, if Ellie wants to join us, I can pull her in. She's up on the AI stuff.
Up on the latest and greatest.
Just
Need
add her
to load your
to the streaming channel thing. Not invite people. I know how to Discord. Add member. I think that's you. Hopefully. Well, somebody with an E in their name anyway. It's hard to tell when Discord's in streamer mode.
no rush. Oh, I think wait, I still have a bunch of red nodes. Red nodes.
Red
Manager.
nodes, eh?
Install missing custom nodes.
Yes.
There
Well,
are none.
are the red nodes? They might be the get set nodes. The get set nodes you cannot install with ComfyUI for some reason, or with ComfyUI Manager for some reason. The link to
Where do I
that. Whoops,
find
I deleted or I moved my OBS or Discord. Come on, brain. You asked me about.
I also forgot.
Oh, we
The
can get
workflow.
there. We can get there. The workflow. Oh, the get set nodes. The get set nodes are diffuse. Okay, so this is a little confusing, but this node, the get set node, goes in getset.js, goes in ComfyUI web extensions, and then you make this diffuse folder, and then it goes to setget.js. So
I need to see
you want to
this.
download that file and put it here, but you have to make the diffuse folder.
Diffuse with an E.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
It's like a very, very manual install for the get set nodes. I know it's annoying, but you know, I love them.
And then restart or refresh.
Yeah, I think you got to restart Comfy
All right.
to make them work.
All right. ComfyUI. I think I maybe installed Comfy in a different. Was it an input?
Web
ComfyUI.
extensions. Web
Web.
extensions.
Got it.
Yeah.
Diffuse 3.
Yes, the rerouting nodes. Yep. The get and set nodes. Setting values and getting values, they take on the form of whatever you plug into them. So if you plug in a model, it becomes a model node. If you plug in a clip, it becomes a clip node. And then you can get and set them so that I don't have the spaghetti running from box to box. It's all, the spaghetti's all contained on each plate. I like that. Keeps the sauce off the table, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I was going to talk about my this interpolate workflow here. Okay, one thing I noticed when I'm doing my animations is that sometimes the final frame skips, and that's because You're missing it when you put them together. This thing here, it gets the frame count, so whatever the however many frames there are, and then it gets the image, and it basically interpolates the final frame and the first frame. So it takes the final frame and interpolates it back to the first frame to make a perfect loop. So this particular film interpolation, because it's combining the final frame and the first frame, and then it's combining the full animation with the thing we just made. But when it's done, actually we're about to see. In this situation, it's unnoticeable because it interpolates properly. But in a situation where you don't have a perfect loop, it's going to do that thing where it sort of just like snaps back to the first frame. So you get a nice loop out of everything with this frame interpolation thing. And you'll about to see it here, even though this is pretty perfect, this loop.
If I do say so myself.
Yep. Perfection.
So I tried doing a beach render once, and it kind of looked like that. I'm like, oh, that's curious. Purz has the same the same mask that I do, and that's because it's the one that I watched you make on tutorial.
Right.
Ain't life hilarious?
So then that there is the final interpolated version.
Wow.
So you get the motion is relatively real
That's
time,
so good.
and yeah, and it should perfectly loop every time.
You can't even tell.
So now that we have that, generating a depth map is just as easy as going back here, setting our thing back to 1 so that we only do the one diffuse run, the single run on the animation. Go back to here and plug in the load images in this. We did a 512 by 512, so plop that in there. Go find the folder we just made, which is in our Comfy outputs. Where's the beach? Show me the beach. There's the beach. Nope. There's the beach. All right. Drop that in there and plug this into all the things. La 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 la. Yep. And cue. Use my promo code, Andy. Take it out of your cart. Use my promo code.
Do it. Do it.
Did anyone help you with this sale?
Did one question that I've got is now missing from my mind.
Oh, my chat broke.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
If you go straight to preview image, but you don't hit save image, that image still held in a buffer somewhere where you can save it, right? Or you have to render again, just keeping the same seed to then be able to save.
I honestly don't know with preview image. I don't know if you can save the whole sequence with it.
Oh yeah, I guess the sequence would be
Yeah.
different.
Oh, promo code link is just scroll up a bit there.
Oh,
I think
gotcha.
it's
I'll drop
thanks.
I got it.
Look.glass/Purz, yeah. Get your promo on.
Here.
Oh yeah, well, we're only an hour in, but maybe this is the time to announce the little special thing.
Yes. Perfect time.
Little special thing.
This little special thing.
So now that Purz has effectively shown you how to take an existing image sequence or your AnimateDiff or other Stable Diffusion renders and put them on a looking glass, we want to challenge you jointly to do the same. So in order to do that, we're going to announce challenge details tomorrow, but be on the lookout for messages from both Purz and from Looking Glass as to how you can get your own Looking Glass by participating in an AI or 3D generation challenge, which I'm really excited to co-host with Purz.
Volume up on Arturo. Yes, that can be done.
Oops.
Let me turn
Well,
you up
I'll
a bit
repeat
more.
everything that I said,
turn you-
except louder this time.
There we
The
go.
short version is Purz
Whoops.
and I and Looking Glass are co-hosting a challenge, and the winner will receive their very own Looking Glass. So you can take some of these workflows and incorporate them into that for creating for the Looking Glass, but also for creating for yourself and for fun. So more details on that soon. Keep an eye on Purz's space and then on Looking Glass accounts for more details.
That's right. Did you want a Looking Glass or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do. They are pretty sweet. If I don't say so myself. I mean, mine's got Arturo dancing on it, so it's pretty.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah,
It's pretty tricked out, you know. Everyone comes with that. Every single.
Everyone
That's the
comes
start.
with a hologram.
That's the
with me
startup video,
dancing.
and you turn it on.
Yeah. And if you or your friends or somebody else is doing cool 3D stuff, and you want to see it on a looking glass, and you use Blender, Unity, Unreal, or what have you, we have pipelines and workflows out of all of those tools, and I'd be happy to film whatever the output is if you generate something for that, and you don't have one yourself. But you could also see it for yourself on blocks, which I've mentioned a couple of times, and drop the link for it in the chat. It's a really good way to start making stuff for our ecosystem.
Yeah, blocks are cool. You can also show blocks online. There's like you can like drop them in Discord and stuff. They're like viewable. I've got a bunch of blocks you can look at if you'd like. Blocks. What is it? Blocks.glass/Purz?
Blocks.glass/Purz, I think. I'm loading one up.
Trippy. And if you have a looking
Yeah.
glass, you can cast these right to your looking glass from this site. So you can, and the whenever you want, you can go click on any of them and cast it over there, and then just you click away from the site, and it just stays on your looking glass. So if you want to change it up, put something new on it, it's really easy to do that.
Yeah. We've also made it so that if you're the creator of the hologram or the uploader, you can set it whether you want it to be
Available for download for other people to download for themselves.
and a couple of other fun features, including VR casting as well since launch. So if you have a VR headset, you can actually experience this in VR too. You don't necessarily need a looking glass. And with your phone, it'll work with the accelerometer. It's fun. Try it out.
Yeah, it's great. Hey, Fitba. This is, well, tonight we're doing some AI stuff with ComfyUI and AnimateDiff. We're generating animations from masks. We're, it's a long story, but basically, yeah, they're just workflow videos for AI-based animation. I myself am a motion graphics person and digital artist, generative artist, procedural artist, and all that nonsense. So, you know, this is just the next step for me. The next augmentation of my workflow is AI based. So trying to help everybody else get their head around it too, because this stuff can be kind of confusing, but it's not as scary as it looks. That's for sure. So this one's kind of boring, but it might be okay.
Vanilla is still a good flavor.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's see what it looks like. So we just pull it into our Resolve workflow here. We have both. So
I almost
blah,
hear
blah.
Steven Scott making a cheeky comment.
Yeah.
About that.
What else is new? Timeline 1. All right, so let's get our animation, which is in our ComfyUI folder. This one. Yep. Drop view in here, and we want the depth, which is also in here. Is it not? Yes, right here. Get our depth map and copy you, paste. So what I'm doing here in Resolve is if you copy from a video and then Alt V paste, you can paste attributes. So in this case, I want to copy the zoom. Well, I mean, this is all three of them, but basically I just want to copy from here and paste to here, copy the zoom over. It's just a quick way to process these files. So we got our one, and then we got our depth map, and we can check if they're lined up by setting the opacity down. Having a look, they look pretty lined up to me. Oh, I'm using the normal on both of them. It's because I had both clips selected. Just select the one clip. There we go. All right, so X to select the clip and deliver. LKG waves left. Oops, I think I still have you. Yes. And are you at full? No. There we go. Off. You. Waves left. Yep. Edit. You. Your waves right. Yep. And out. Lever. Waves right. Depth. And bop. And bop. Now we've got our files, so we can go into the other timeline and assemble them. And our files, I put my files in videos. You put your files wherever you put your files. But here they are, left and right. Left. Oh, that bug. Anybody else get this bug in Windows where you can't drop stuff? Makes me crazy. Crazy. Okay, there we go. Now we want to copy, paste attributes, We don't want the zoom, but we do want the position. And we're gonna do the same here. Copy this, paste the position, and Alt drag to copy. 1, 2, 3 of them, and out. There we go. So we got our RGB on the left, we got our depth on the right, and it should make a 3D video.
Amazing.
LKG waves.
This workflow also obviously works for still images, and something I've been really enjoying. I would say I've been doing it definitely a lot more in the past month than ever before, is taking these RGB and depth map pairs into Blender and using them as backgrounds for scenes that I'm rendering out. So you could do a similar workflow in your creative suite of choice by using tools. I'm using an add-on called Import Depth Map, I think, just like as simple as that, which does exactly what it says on the tin. You would load an image. I wonder if you could load actually an image sequence, but you upload an image with its depth pair, and then you can tweak how depthy essentially you want it to be, and that's great because you can actually cast light on that geometry and augment your scene in that way, and it's very quick and cheap and dirty, which is how I like my food and my renders.
Somebody's like, I don't know if you guys can hear that, hopefully not, but somebody's like drilling or sawing outside, and it's extremely loud.
Can't hear it.
Let's have a look at this. That is good. Well, that looks pretty cool, actually. Let's.
Andy says, "I finally hit checkout with your 10%. Awesome! I need to make use of it when it arrives." Sweet, yeah. Andy, if you haven't already, shameful plug. I'm gonna drop a link to the Looking Glass Discord because that will be the home to any questions that you might have about how do I get stuff that I make or that I want to make. Maybe you don't consider yourself a creative or an artist, but you do want to get your stuff on there. That's totally fine. Like, doesn't matter what you do, whether it's 3D or not. You can make essentially anything you want into a hologram. So that's where folks will be able to help you out. And then Matisse asks, how are you taking depth maps and turning them into a video? Is that within Comfy or FFmpeg? And
that's with DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
You can use any video editor. I'm fastest with Resolve.
Have you tried out, well, I guess nobody's really tried out, but did you hear about the, Amit says, will you guys share the ComfyUI workflow? Yes, it's on Purz's Discord, which I will link to in 1 second. And
it's in the resources channel on my Discord there.
Yeah, you'll be able to find that there. But what was I saying? The Premiere outfill, or what is it? In outpainting?
Video outpainting or video.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
I've pasted the link to the server on the chat so you can go through there, Amit, and find the resource channel, which is where all of Purz's ComfyUI and other resources are.
All them things. Let's try
like these.
This one always looks good. I'm gonna skip 0 frames. Comfy has this really weird bug where it just drops all these insane values in here for no reason. So watch that.
Wait, how can I set random seeds?
That's in.
Is there like a randomizer node?
No, there's the seed node here, and then basically randomized or fixed. What randomized does is it on each run is with the AnimateDiff is a fixed seed, but if you have it on randomized mode, it'll do one on a seed. Then when it's done, it'll change the seed. So like the next one will have a new seed. So, but if you have it on fixed mode, it'll do the same run. So if you leave it on fixed mode and you do your stuff and then you want to upscale it, you can actually plug the upscaler in. And if you haven't changed anything, you can run it again. And because the seed's fixed, it's not going to do any work it's already done before. So it's going to skip all this and then go on to the next part of the chain. So it is a way to interrupt what you're doing. But the problem is I always forget to change the seed in between the runs. So I leave it on randomized. So I'm kind of, screwed either way. But you can very easily just go grab the PNG that you just made from the animation you just made, like in your output folder, drag it in, and then it's going to have the seed from the last run you did. So then you just change it to fixed and run it, and it should not do the first run again, but it might. But it should.
I had my first instance of running basically what I thought was a brand new prompt, but it was the same prompt, and I got the exact same result.
Yeah,
as
it
I had,
might because it's
maybe
set to
2 hours
fixed.
before. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what?
So what would be a good animation for the wave that's going up? Maybe like.
Can we see the mask again?
Oh sure. Oh sure.
Oh sure.
Oh sure. Where did I put it? Wave up, I believe it was called. Wave up. This is the mask.
Yeah, maybe some form of elevator going down.
Elevator going down.
Or, I mean, not in a boring way, you know.
Art
Make
Deco
it modern.
elevator.
Art station.
Down,
Just kidding.
man.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Don't come for us.
Going down fast. Let's try that.
Andy Shaw says, in Discord, I have a leap from launch. The Slicking Glass feels like early Leap Motion days. Well, it's funny that you say that because one of the more popular demos of what's doable and possible with a Looking Glass, which is effectively a secondary display, although it lets you see things in 3D, is actually using Leap Motion. So you can interact with anything that you make in Unity, Blender, etc., using Leap Motion hooked up to your computer and see that come out on the display. So it is very much like early Leap Motion days, except also very much the future. Bold claim, but I think there's only so much. If I can get on my soapbox real quick, there's only so much we can do in terms of like resolution for displays before we have to start thinking about dimension. So I don't know about you, but I don't really want to be walking around with a 32K resolution screen on my phone. Like that doesn't really do much for me. Most people can't even tell the difference between like 4K and 8K. So
yeah,
soapbox over. But I think
I
whether
agree.
it's you know, through the stuff that we're doing or some other similar technology, this is kind of where things are heading.
All right, I'm going to take a little break and head and stretch my legs, but feel free to hang out, Arturo. I'll be right back in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Take your time. I'll be here entertaining everybody.
Feel free to tell
moves.
tell everyone all your opinions on things, you know.
Yeah.
Get deep in.
I'll start with the most contentious thing that's happening in the news today, which is apparently Millie Bobby Brown said that she really doesn't like it when people take pictures of their food.
I don't blame her. I don't
Discuss, chat. Tell us.
That's pretty controversial. I don't know.
It's pretty wild. I don't really know if she should be allowed to say that. It's so abhorrent.
It's a little much.
Yeah. But let's see. Where is everybody tuning in from? How do I keep y'all entertained while Purz is out? Oh, he's gone. It's just me now. Okay. Carry the show. I can do this. Yeah, so what we're looking at here is Purz's computer screen as it's doing work. It's doing work on let's zoom in real quick. It's trying to render all of these depth images from a run that we just did. And I actually don't think that's what it's doing. I'm lying to you. I'm just stalling for time. What is it doing? CPU is doing hardly anything. But actually, in the meantime, if you have a better idea, better than Art Deco Elevator or whatever it was that we came up with before Purz had to take a bathroom break, then please drop it in the chat over on YouTube or I guess wherever we're streaming this, because I think it will help us. So yes, keep talking so that the YouTube algorithm thinks that there's a lot of stuff happening here and bumps us up. And maybe Mr. Beast will see it and buy me a house. Filling in the space with my dance moves. Steven Scott says, go chair. Well, given that there's 10 of us here and only one of us is talking, I demand some answers. Where's everyone tuning in from today? What is the technology behind Looking Glass? Oh, okay, all right. I'll answer that question. Steven Scott. Looking Glass is what's known as a light field display. Oh, thank God. I hear Purz is back.
Rustling.
Thank you. Looking Glass is a light field display, which is a somewhat fancy way of saying that it's light that is very intelligently being
pointed and guided outside of a display, much like all the other displays that we know, like the ones on our phone or TVs, computers, etc. They have RGB and D, which are red, green, and blue channels, where looking glass displays have an additional one, which is depth, and that's what guides the image that's getting sent out. And that gives you the illusion or impression of depth and dimension, where there actually technically isn't, but there is by way of light. So if you've seen projections, or you've seen like augmented reality stuff, or virtual reality that's like superimposed in a way, then you know that like light, or you work in photography or film, or you happen to have stereoscopic vision, you know that light is like a very important way for us to tell depth and distance. And so looking glass displays take advantage of that paradigm and kind of make it so that you can see the impression or illusion of depth in a really convincing way, and in group settings, which is important.
Yeah, it's really one of those things you got to see in real life.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to describe, especially with just the 2D camera pointing at it, but like, yeah, in real life, it's super cool. You can like stick your fingers right in the thing that's not there.
Mm-hmm.
HoloLens was more of a
the
VR
difference is
AR
tough.
run, right?
Yeah, HoloLens, Microsoft HoloLens is more of an augmented reality experience, where there's kind of light that's being diffracted and kind of shot back at your eyes through this screen. So it's similar in the sense that it's an XR device, or like mixed or cross reality device, but different in the actual implementation. Still very cool product either way. Andy says, I was dreaming RGB+D from the Microsoft Kinect. Yeah, so this is actually, it's interesting you say that. So the HoloLens, the folks at HoloLens are a really cool team, and one of them in particular, who's no longer with Microsoft, I don't think, actually built out a tool that uses RGB+D or depth maps from games, and built effectively a shader so that you can play video games that you can play on your computer and that you own on a looking glass display, and take advantage of the depth channels or the depth passes in the game to actually see that shown back at you. And to your point, Andy, the RGB+D from the Microsoft Kinect is actually also one of the demos that's most used for looking glass like purposes, to show off what can happen, because you can actually interpret the information that's captured from that camera in real time using Unity in one of our displays. It's cool stuff. I tried making one for the device.
What are you
amazing.
talking about, Devin? Makes
I
sense.
think I know. Make some sense.
There you go. The elevator's going down, except like we're in the hall and it's going up.
Wait. Oh yeah.
Nailed it.
Wow.
Just nailed it.
What else that's wavy but not gravy? Actually, this one might be. I'd be interested to see
If it does like the room,
registers.
yeah, like
Mhm.
yeah. I think it might actually. G-splats, yeah. Oh, I can't use Discord till the stream's over because I'm using it to monitor me and Arturo's voices when you hear us
Yeah.
talk. So
You can send it to me. I'll have a look.
yeah, but I'll check all my Discord stuff after. If you're messaging me or you're adding me, I do see some dots, but I can't check them right now. Some dots, some dits, some dots, some noties.
Yeah, G-splats. You can also get G-splats up on here. You can get pretty much anything. And one of the things I really love about it is that it's kind of like this tool that enables all the other tools, or that plays really well with it. Because one of the other things that I really love doing is taking like photo scans, and obviously now it's really fun and exciting and simple for people to take like nerfs and Gaussian splats and stuff, and you can get all of those onto the display using Blender, Unity, like kind of only a couple steps away from any XR enabled experience these days, and that's really exciting.
So cool. Actually walking around, capturing the environment you're in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can really like do so much. You can take a I'm testing your hologram now, Matisse. You can take like a polycam scan and then also take an HDRI with the same app. And that's already two really powerful things that you can do just from your phone. And I don't know if you've seen Simulon.
No, I don't think so.
It's pretty wild. Wow, Matisse, this is actually really good. That's cool. That's very cool.
You didn't have to sound so surprised.
Yeah, true. I mean, when I was looking
Oh my
at it
god,
flat, it
this
didn't
isn't
look-
trash.
Wow, this is not.
What?
This is actually for you. This is pretty cool. No,
Jeez.
it just looks good.
Take that.
Splats. I totally forgot what we were talking about.
G
Forget
splats, yo.
it. G splats.
Got your good splats or what?
Yes, it worked. It worked. Movement Laura's. Hell yeah, I want some of those.
Yeah, the movement
splats.
Lauras are interesting. I'm getting a lot better results with using control net guidance as my movement Lauras. But yeah, I mean, depends on what you're doing. There's some incredible examples on the AnimateDiff-Evolved GitHub page of using the motion models properly. Motion Lauras, rather. 5 minutes.
Wait, it tells. Oh yeah, I guess it does. Yes, it worked. That's great. I also learned it from Purz. That's gonna be. I want that on a shirt. I learned it from Purz.
Just occurred to me, this doesn't need to be so big. You can probably be that size and still give us all the info we need, and we'll be able to see the videos.
Yeah, I wonder if. I think there's something about the quality of the room and the angle. Matisse, like maybe you can tell us a little bit more about how you went about making this. But it's got me thinking maybe something about like isometric or maybe orthogonal as a like word to drive the scene, or maybe even
That'd be cool.
yeah.
Some kind of low poly landscape thing.
Mm-hmm.
One
None of this Art Deco elevator shit.
I'm running chocolate fountain, strawberries icing.
Oh my god. That's pretty great.
I had really good results with chocolate fountain before, so hopefully
What was
we'll
the
land there
prompt
again.
for? Wait, so if you sent me an image on Discord, like the one for the paint with the Looking Glass logo, and I loaded that into Comfy, it would give me the parameters, or is that only in your run? Or would Discord strip the metadata that we need for that? Like, where's that even saved?
For
And
what?
Who am I really?
What are you looking for?
The prompt for the paint Looking Glass logo hologram that you made.
I have that. It would be
And
in
then
the
the question-
PNG. It'll be in the PNG that I
Yeah.
created. I'm gonna say it was probably goopy, splotchy spray paint dripping down concrete, graffiti, generative art, and maybe some other stuff. But that's basically the prompt. Was
That's
like
cool.
goopy, gooey, dripping paint. Like really, AnimateDiff just loves that because it's amazing at fluids, right? So like, you get like all those wicked globs and the
Mhm.
it's cool. It's also really good at like
Yeah.
plasma and nebulas and clouds and anything that takes forever to render in 3D renders amazing and fast in AnimateDiff.
Go figure. Yeah, but I guess on the technical side, do you happen to know where the prompt information is saved in the PNG? Like, is it something that can get easily stripped?
Yeah, it's in the XIF data, so you can get this app called XIF
Oh, I
Cleaner.
see. Yeah.
XIF
Makes
Cleaner.
sense.
Yeah, it's called XIF Cleaner, and it's free. You just drag and drop them into there, and then you can pop them out. So yeah, if you really, for whatever reason, you don't want people knowing the workflow or the structure or the prompt, you can strip it.
Me, Purz, where is this thing? He's like, it's down. Like, yeah. I know. It all made sense as soon as you said it.
Did you
XIF
restart
Cleaner.
Comfy Metanome? Sometimes you have to reboot Comfy before it'll kick
Oh, yeah,
in
and
again. Reload the workflow.
Okay, small frame. What's the Looking Glass resolution? Oh, I see.
Yeah, the bezel is, I don't know. I think the camera is not showing how thick the bezel is in real life. It's thicker than,
A snicker.
it's thicker. It's just like a straight on shot with the camera.
Can you hit us with that sweet rim light
but I might be able to like, yeah,
It's on the other
tilt
side.
it so you can get an idea. See how it's like. But yeah, let's get the rim light on. Get that centered again without killing it. Hey, bonk the camera,
Whoa.
bonk the camera.
Hey.
Hey. Roll. Yeah, I don't know. It goes in web extension diffuse setget.js. I'm not sure if it doesn't work. I'm not sure how to fix it. Honestly, I'm sorry. Might be stuff about it on the internet. Might be an issue, a GitHub issue with the same problem.
Did you use the correct folder diffuse with a 3 instead of an E?
I don't think that matters. I think it just has to be in a folder.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
I
I'm
forget
not
that we're not
sure.
on radio, so I can curse.
This one's pretty cool.
That's wow.
Blop, blip, blip, strawberries, blip, blip.
Wow. That's so good.
I love that. Elevator who?
Oh, beautiful. Gloop, 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 gloop. I bet this one's going to look wild.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's generate depth for the last two we just made. So we set our diffusion to 1, which makes that thing only run 1 frame because I will 100% forget to stop it. All right. AI comfy output. We want our delicious elevator. Our delicious elevator. No, we want... Oh, this is still running? That's good. All right. Drop that link in here and image load cap is 0. Plug that into the depth map. Map it into the thing. Map it into the other thing. Skablomp. Yeah, you can turn the light off, which I prefer when it's on my desk, but the light looks cool too when you're showing it off.
Mm-hmm.
The light also gives an idea of the field on camera, like so you get an idea of sort of how deep it is. Map that depth. Oh, it's done. Oh, it did the room.
Wow.
I think this one's
Yeah.
gonna be cool, actually.
This is going to be sick. What does it say about me that I'm staring at myself dancing as a hologram on loop?
Online and online and online. Layers. There's layers to this. It's kind of how I feel every time I see myself dancing on Discord. All right, we dropping them depth maps. Yeah, like I said, this might be problematic if you only have 8 gigs of VRAM, and that kind of sucks. But again, I think you can basically, like, if you do this as a batch in Automatic 1111, I think it just loads one image in at a time as opposed to trying to do the whole shibiddly bam. I think this takes a lot of VRAM because it's grabbing the whole chunk and then, spitting it back out. I might be wrong about that too. It might just take, 12 to 16 gigabytes of VRAM to do the depth maps. I know Resolve has a depth mapper in it. There's some freeware stuff. There's some Python stuff. If you're hitting VRAM walls, there's probably a way to run it differently on your machine. But I don't know. Unfortunately, your mileage may vary.
Get good.
Yeah, I mean, I hate saying it, but some of this stuff just takes too much VRAM, right? It's just the way it is.
It does.
And I had a 8 gigabyte card for a long time, and it feels like you just have your foot in the door, but you're not really able to play with all the fun new toys. It's very frustrating. So I feel for you.
Just make you kind of work within
certain
constraints better, though, for sure.
Yeah, but those constraints suck.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, but yeah, then it's like the weights are off. It's like running with weights. Like I remember trying to do a lot of stuff when I started out in Blender on my laptop.
Right.
Like, no thanks.
Yeah, it's not even fun when it runs bad.
Yeah.
Death maps.
But you didn't even know that it's.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that it's not fun sometimes.
No, it's true. Yeah. The interpolation chain. Sure. We'll do it while it does this depth map. Am I done with Deforum? No, not at all. I love Deforum. I literally just had my work showcased at Dreamforum UK just last week.
True. That's true. How did that
It was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Actually, I can show you guys a video of.
Yeah.
Let me load that up real quick.
For some reason, I thought that was at the end of the month, but I might be conflating that with Econ.
See if I can find them. Yeah, they are. Yeah, so I had 3 pieces displayed on the TVs there, and yeah, it was really cool. They had the TVs on easels, so they looked really
I
dope.
love that.
And yeah, that's a hybrid video the forum run. The forum is still extremely interesting to me. The only problem the forum has, obviously, as you know, is the flipbook thing, right? Like it flickers. It's just sort of the nature of it. It uses the frame before to dream the next frame, so it is what it is. But I feel like I've really pushed what you can do with the forum into something that's somewhere in between AnimateDiff and the forum. So it's that, I think that's about as smooth as I can get it, basically. And I'm really proud of everything I've done in the forum, and I'll continue to play with the forum. And I know the mods are like the forum devs are working on some wild stuff. So future looks bright for everybody. If we can somehow combine AnimateDiff and the forum into some hybrid new thing, I'm really excited about that, because you know, Deforum and Stable Warp Fusion have certain things that they do really well, like sticking the dream onto stuff using like vector maps, like RGB depth maps, where you have a sense of where things are in 3D space. Stable Warp Fusion's incredible at that. So hopefully we can get that kind of stuff in AnimateDiff, or maybe we can build it out so that AnimateDiff and Deforum can work together in some way. I don't know. But yeah, it's exciting.
AnimateDiff forum.
Yeah, AnimateDiff-Forum. But yeah, yeah, not done with the forum, not at all. And they're not done either. They've got some crazy stuff. I've seen some stuff on the Discord that looks really exciting as far as hybrid optical flow motion goes, and they're doing a lot of stuff to solve a lot of the flicker issues by getting more like liquid movement. Like yeah, it's really exciting. Forum rocks. Okay, let's check out our chocolate fountain. Oh, this one's gonna be amazing.
Wow. Yes.
All right, let's drop those 2 on the LKG and
That's
have
awesome.
a look. No, not you. Not using you today. All right, resolve. Go back to our timeline, edit mode, timeline 1, load our stuff.
Is there a way?
Is comfy.
Are there the equivalent of like compositing nodes in ComfyUI?
Yes, all the stuff in the WAS image suite that I was talking about earlier, or the WAS node suite. There's a bunch of image processing stuff. There is a video I did 2 or 3 weeks ago on YouTube called ComfyUI blah 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 glitch workflow. I believe I did it on Eclectic Glitches metaverse site. But that tutorial walks through my glitch chain, which like you generate an image and then you can generate all kinds of variations of that image, right? And you do them all into preview nodes, and then you can just save the ones you like. So you can do all this stuff in Comfy really fast. You know, remove the background, add glitch and add pixel sorting, add this, add that, and composite it all together, and then give yourself lots of options. And then just be, oh, I like that one, and save them, and then like, you know, generate the next thing. So it's sort of like a giant water wheel of like glitch chain stuff you can do. It's really fun. Yeah, like Comfy is ridiculously overpowered.
That's good to know, because there might be then like a way to append or like smash the RGB and the depth.
Yeah,
together.
actually, yeah, probably. The only problem is I have to crop. If I didn't have to crop, it would be. I think you could very easily do it.
You could do the crop in the portrait.
Yeah, that's true. But then you're generating a lot of extra stuff for no reason. Stuff and things and stuff. Nice. What was the problem? ComfyUI elevator. Yep. Bloop. Zoom. Bloop. All right. Get our depth maps. They are elevator. Yes. And strawberries. That's not elevator. That's elevator. Elevator. Strawberries. Paste, zoom, paste, zoom. All right. Yep. Looks good. And yep, looks good. All right, I'm
Wow.
happy. I'm happy. X to select the clip. Deliver LKG. Elevator left. Blah. And then we'll do no. Deliver elevator right. Depth. You think I could spell that word? I've typed it like 700 times the last 3 days. All right. And then same deal here. Can I do it here? No, of course not. And deliver, excuse me. Deliver
Oh, I'm so pumped for this one.
strawberry left. Yep. Clunk. Bloop.
And if you're just joining and you're wondering how the heck can I get those masks that are lending to this awesome generation, have I got the answers?
Just
They're on
rewind the
Purz's
tape.
Discord.
Yeah, just rewind the
just
tape.
Play it back.
Yeah. The subfolder, yeah. Didn't know where to look. Nice. All right. Come on, brain. We were just braining. We were braining so hard. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah. No, you're fine. Okay. Yeah. Back to this workflow. So we just generated our left and rights for all these, and now we're going to go to the other timeline. You know what? Can I rename this timeline? There we go. Assembly. And then we'll call. Oh, is it broken? Did I break it? I broke it. You can't rename stuff in Resolve, I guess. Okay, there we go. All right, and then you're gonna call this timeline
You only got one name.
cropping. So cropping and assembly. Assembly. So let's go grab our thingy jiggies that we need, which are in videos. And we got our left, and we got our right. And we got our left, and we got our right. No, I did waves. Go waves. See what I did there? And then here. All right, let go. If someone ever helps me fix that bug, I'll give them a huge hug. Huge hug.
Dibs.
Unlink. Okay. Bloop. Boop. Boop. All right. Let's do 2, 3, and in and out. Yeah, and out. Yep. And then 8. Oh, let's do this at 2. Okay. Copy. Paste the position. Copy. Paste the position. Blunk. There we go. All right. So you're going to be LKG elevator. MP4. Blump. And then in, out. And you're going to be strawberries. Do it. Right. Looking glass. Stop. Elevator. Restart looking glass studio. Elevator. Creepy. That is super creepy looking. I like it. Whoa, trippy. Whoa, yeah. Looks cool in real life.
Looks cool online.
Hey, Andy, it is many layers of exports for 3D renders. But if you're just doing a single image, you can get away with one image and one depth map. The multi-camera renders look way better. Like if you render something in 3D in like Blender using all of the portrait modes, which I can do one of those next stream as well. We can set up a quick scene in Blender, and I can like export one with the Looking Glass plugin to like get, but again, it'll be hard to tell with the camera. But the point is, it works both ways, but it does look a little better when you have like all of the camera motion from one side to the other. But yeah, the depth map stuff looks cool too. So, but that's the problem with doing the 3D animation is you need to do whatever it is, 48 frames for every frame, right? Whereas with this, I'm just calculating a depth map for each frame, and you're saving yourself so much work. But that's stuff that, you render the views. It looks amazing on the glass, like amazing. All right, the elevator's good, and let's try the strubbers. Zoom in a bit on the strubbers. Let's focus them a bit and depthiness in them a bit. Oh yeah.
Wow.
There are strawberries everywhere. Crazy.
I'm
Yeah,
excited
I
for
mean,
those.
it looks really cool in real life. I can't I can't show you with the camera, unfortunately.
Can you show the screen with angles to the camera? Can
I
you move your
can, but it might
your camera
disconnect. I can't because
instead
of
of the.
the way it's on a tripod thing.
Gotcha.
But I can. Let me pause it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, that comes across. You can see if you focus on the strawberries in the bottom tier, how it just kind of reveals now, and then now it's hidden, reveals. Unfortunately, you can't pick them up and eat them yet.
Yeah, someday.
That's coming.
Yeah, I should get a little turntable for it. For these,
We'll send you one.
that'd be cool because then it just move a little bit, and then when you stop it, you can see. Toying table.
Send me those when you can. I want to check them out.
Oh yeah, let me drop those. Mess up the thing real quick. Massage. All right, that should be all of them. Sending them on over. You could just pull them in and hop them yourself there. Boop. Just hop them, you know.
We will just hop away. We'll make these available for folks. If you're watching and you're coming from Looking Glass channels and you already have one and you want to check it out, or you just want to see what the depth maps look like, well, afterwards you'll find all of those details in the description as well as on our separate channels.
That wave is really good for driving the motion, I
Mhm.
think. So we'll stick with the
Yeah.
wave. We did a chocolate fountain. We want to try something else. Food related. Banana smoothie. We do anyone in the chat have anything they want to see? Feel free to drop prompts. I'll run them if I can. I want to see something, not weird. No weird prompts,
Yeah.
please.
Not today, not for this stream.
What's DK2? I'll do one I really like. It's what was the wording for it? Clouds, cumulonimbus, thunderstorm, lightning. Yeah, that's a good one. It does
The
clouds
elevator
so
one's
good.
Trippy. I noticed that like with the paint splotches, just so coherent. Really no other way to.
Yeah, the motion is just
Mhm.
cool. Pumpkin candles. Oh, pumpkin candles. Yeah, right on. Oh, Oculus DK2. Okay, yeah. I know what you mean. The res is just 3x4. So whatever 3x4 res you want will it'll work. I mean, these are like what 512 by something to start. They look great. I mean, they'll look better the higher res you go, but they'll also be bigger and bigger and bigger. So I feel like there's probably diminishing returns at some point, right, with the resolution of these things, because they're like they're displaying
Yeah.
at 1536 by 2048, but not really, right? It's sort of like flop rendered or whatever across the. Like I feel like at some point it's just not going to get any more detail-y.
Yeah, what you want, you don't necessarily want like a large image. You just want a lot of detail in the image.
Like this one looks great, and it was not even upscaled. It was just stretched in Resolve.
Yeah, this looks so good. Are you doing also the? Because I know Resolve now has this upscaling on export. Did you do any
Yeah,
of
I don't
that
have
for
the
this?
latest version. I'm on 18 still.
I always get the notification for like, oh, you can update, but I'm also always in the middle of a project when I get it.
Yeah, like mine works right now. I'm just gonna leave it alone. But apparently they've added a lot of really great stuff in 19. I need to dig in.
I just got so confused because your mouth was moving, but you weren't talking, and it was because I was on the stream on YouTube, not Discord.
Oh, I'll try that run, John. One sec.
This strawberry one looks.
Yeah, I think a 2-scale
absurd.
upscale would be more than enough. And if you do it with like ESR GAN, it's gonna look great. Even with the anime one or something, get the hard bold lines. It's gonna look really good.
Do you almost like exclusively use Topaz upscaling for your SDXL runs, or is there a refiner or upscaler that you like to use for SDXL?
There's a workflow by Saitan. I use this for my SDXL workflow. It's it's got a whole upscaler rig built in, and it works really good because it redreams with details, right? Tiled, so you get like it's like the Midjourney thing where you get like more detail on the upscale.
Yeah.
what you want versus just
That is what you
stretching
want.
and stretching and blurring and sharpening.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. I might have some questions on that.
Takes
later.
longer to run, takes a lot of VRAM, but it's dope.
I mean, I'm running up at the point where like some of the stuff that I'm doing, I'm just kind of wanting to like just fix up some hands and stuff that would normally get fixed in a Midjourney upscale.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's perfect.
I can't believe you still have all this energy, man. You've been dancing the whole stream.
Yeah, you can hear it in my voice.
It's crazy. Yeah, upscale is awesome. Upscale. Sounds like an Australian person saying upscale.
Yeah, or like an ancient dragon name or something.
Yeah, upscale.
Everybody feared.
Yeah, upscale is wicked. It's wicked. Cup scale's cool too. See upscale, cup scale. It's really handy. Lets you load up different models and stuff. Most of these upscaling models are free, right? They're available on the web. So only use Topaz if you're exceptionally lazy and you want to do it all in one motion for video. The Giga what's it called?
Gigapixel?
Yeah. That's great too, but again, if you're not a professional photographer, you probably don't need it.
Yeah.
That's for like when you took wedding photos and they look only okay and you want them to look, stunning.
Yeah. I mean, even if you are a professional photographer, I use it purely for just the enjoyment of using AI tools and seeing like how I can augment the stuff that I'm doing, but it's not like a must have. If you can get it though.
Yeah, it will be on sale soon. They always go on sale around Black Friday, so it'll be, I think it's regularly like $2.99 or $1.99. I'm not sure what it is in the States, but it goes to half price usually. So hopefully you'll be able to get it for, $159 or.
I can't stop staring at the strawberry. I also wonder, you could probably slow this down.
Yeah, these are
and
using
interpolate the frames.
These are using the 24 frame per second images, but I could just as easily generate depth maps on the interpolated versions. So yeah, we can definitely do that. You can do that on this one actually. Sorry, I think someone asked me to go through the interpolating workflow. I did this before, but I'll do it again. So the problem we were having with interpolation is that the loop was dropping a frame sometimes. I don't know why. It just was because when you're interpolating, it just skipped a frame and it looked bad. The loop looked bad. So here what we're doing is we're finding the final frame count, which is 140. We're selecting, sorry, I have these yawns right now. We're selecting the 140th frame and the first frame. And then we're combining 140 and 1, which interpolates them together. And then we're taking the entire thing and interpolating that with the image we're making. So what that does is it takes the last frame, interpolates it into the first frame, and then it stitches it onto the end of the animation. So as a result, your interpolated version, which you can't tell here because it's not loaded properly, because it was a one frame animation. But when this is done, you'll see that this one loops perfectly, even if your mask doesn't loop perfectly. In this situation, however, these ones are all going to loop perfectly because our mask loops perfectly. The mask is a 280 frame animation that loops twice. So we're rendering it at double speed by skipping every other frame. So we're grabbing 140 frames of it, for brevity, for the stream's sake. And we're rendering that animation, you can see right there's a frame 140, frame 1. So it's a perfect loop. It just loops over and over again. And as a result, because of the way AnimateDiff works, if you don't travel away from the prompt you're on, your animation will loop when it comes back around if the control net is doing the same thing. Your open pose dancer is in the same position. If your loop is in the same place and the same stuff happens, you'll get the same result coming back around again. It's really awesome. It's definitely something I've never seen, Deforum pull off perfectly. Matisse did a lot of work with guided images to try to get us there, but still got that flipbook issue. Pardon me, sorry, I keep yawning. Yeah, it's still got that flipbook issue. Yeah, I don't know how to solve that one aside from using AnimateDiff for now. but there are very smart people working on it. I wouldn't count out a forum yet. Yeah, this one's going to look insane. Okay, so now we're doing the interpolation. And we're saving... No, we're saving the image sequence. 140 and done. And now we are interpolating. Script strip video to PNG, then going upscale, getting easy. Yeah, that's a great workflow. A lot of people are kind of scared to write their own Python programs, but so yeah, there's the interpolated one. The motion is really nice, really nice, and it should loop. I think it loops. So let's try creating a depth map for this interpolated version and see how that looks on the glass. So the interpolated version is not a image sequence; it's actually a video. So we're going to plug the video one in, and we're going to select the one we just made, which is in AI Comfy output. We want the animate diff film. We're going to select every 1th frame. We're going to skip 0 frames at the beginning. There's going to be no frame load cap, which means it's going to load all the frames. And we're going to force the frame rate at 24 because that's what it is. It doesn't matter actually. Plug this in. So same as the PNG sequence, but we're just loading an MP4 instead. 512.
Is it more computationally expensive to load one over the other?
Whoops, I ran that other prompt too. I forgot. Run what?
A PNG over an image.
No.
Sorry, a
I don't
video
think so.
over. No,
I don't think so. I think all it does is it FFM pegs what it needs and does its thing. Well, it's good to know my phone can last about 2.5 hours doing this. Let's slip it over to low power mode and see if it explodes. All right, at some point the looking glass camera may just disappear, and that's because my phone died. But we're gonna run it till it runs out of juice.
Run it to the ground.
Well, my chargers are wireless now, so I don't even have a cable to plug into it right now.
Isn't the present beautiful? I recently found a charging brick
situation on the train, and it's been great.
Oh, like someone left it?
Yeah, I
Love
thought it was
that.
my wallet because it was about the same size, and so I picked it up, and it wasn't. It was one of those like snap-on chargers.
Those are cool. All right, so how's this one doing? So we're running pretty steady on these at 13 gigs, so 13.6 gigs of VRAM. So that's unfortunate because I think it's hard to do this stuff with less than 12 gigs of VRAM. It's actually kind of hard to do this stuff with less than 24. They don't make 16 gigabyte cards, right? I don't think. Do they? It's 4080 16 gigs or 12? I don't even know. So hopefully there's some ways to make this process more streamlined for less VRAM. But you know, if you don't have the VRAM, there's always Run Diffusion and that other one we were just talking about, SageMaker. I think they said SageMaker is only 16 gigs, right? But that's enough to do these mask animations. I mean, okay, that being said, you can still run them. They just take a lot longer, but they don't tax your GPU that hard. So like, if you want to run these animations and you don't have 8 gigs of VRAM, you can just let it water wheel into your memory. It's going to take like 4 or 5 times longer, but it hits your GPU at like 20% while it's doing it because it's only sending the data back and forth slowly. So if you have patience, you can run these things as long as you want. But if you want them to run full speed, you have to make sure you're not popping through your VRAM wall there. Because once you go over your VRAM and you start swapping to your system memory, everything slows down like, 10 times. Might not be 10 times, but it's a lot. But I've done animations, instead of, 8 minutes, it takes an hour. That's not the end of the world. It just sucks. But it's also not pegging your GPU at like 99% the whole time either. It's, just spilling over slowly. Something to consider.
How come a lot of these AnimateDiff nodes say deprecated on them?
I don't know. It always happens. NVIDIA released their new driver with stable diffusion to support. Oh, really? It's supposed to be faster. Really?
Interesting.
I'll have to install that after the stream and try it out.
Yeah. Striking performance up to 4 times faster on RTX.
Heck yeah.
says Tensor RT acceleration is now available for
Oh,
Stable
TensorRT.
Diffusion.
Okay. I mean, that's great, but you have to recompile everything for TensorRT. But I think that's where things are going. That's going to be much faster inference for most people, just like generating images and stuff. Like it's like 4 times faster to use TensorRT. I feel the need. Oh, I think our prompt is done. The anthropomorphic carnivorous plants with leaves and petals, dark cave system, bioluminescent insects, 4K ray tracing, reflection, refraction, volumetric lighting. Let's see what it do. Let's see what it do.
What is that? Can you walk us through those 3 video combines? Are they different? Fine, then I'll walk us through what I think they are. Is it a GIF, then the 12 FPS playback and 24 FPS playback?
Yeah, GIF and then 2 MP4s. So the GIF, because I can drop it on Discord and it'll just loop and it's cool to have, whatever, but it looks like crap because GIFs have a 256 color palette. So we save the MP4s as well, 12 and 424 frame versions, just so I can see what they look like at both speeds, basically. Then we save the PNG sequence for the animation so that we have the, you know, the raw pings, so we can do stuff with that later. And then we do our interpolation and get our final 24 frame 2 times slowdown version. So this like motion at this speed. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, it came out really cool. So we're getting a lot of the mask, and that's because I have it at 50%. So I'm actually going to move that down to about 30%, and this next one should be less masky. But let's make that down to 1, generate the depth maps, go back and forth with this workflow. Oh, I've been generating... I left this plugged in, so I've been generating depth maps for all these runs. That's good. That's great. All right. We're going to go with the clouds, and there's that bug again. See that?
Whoa.
Isn't that weird? I think it has to do with when you do the choose file to upload thing. So just a refresher, frame load cap is 0, skip first frames is 0, and select every nth is 1th. 24 frames per second, blah, blah, blah. 512, blah, blah, blah. Render. We're going to render the depth maps for our pretty clouds. Then we're going to render the depth maps for our bioluminescent cave flowers. And we're going to try another run with the mask that is less control netty, less strength on the control net. I also had some fun with the Looking Glass logo using control net. Just made some animations in Blender with their logo and then brought that into AnimateDiff to see what happens, and that's what happens. It looks cool. I love that one where the waves sort of...
Yeah.
It's cool.
Wash it away. So good.
Giver, man. You look great.
Thanks. I do what I can.
I like the end when you laugh and turn off the phone. You were just... I'm just goofing. This will take longer because it's actually technically double the amount of frames, right? Our other animations are 140 frames, but because we're slowing this down 2 times with the interpolation, it's going to be 280 frames. So the depth map generation will take longer. Now it's very flickery, so I'm actually wondering if this one will be good, but we'll try it anyway. But I feel like they're going to pop out at weird intervals, you know? We shall see. So yeah, this should save 280 frames here. And if you're running out of hard drive space doing this, then you're doing it right, because I run out of hard drive space doing this stuff all the time. Speaking of which, what are we at? 24 gigs free. We're fine. We're fine. Plenty of room.
Golden.
You had a prompt, didn't you, Arturo, before we go back to the low poly something or other? Low poly... Origami,
like
isometric,
Yeah.
orthographic, diorama,
Orthogonal. Yeah.
orthogonal.
Just give us all the random.
Try that weird ass. Oh, geometric. Yeah. All right. Oh, and I think I did one more animation first, though. Oh, it's more than 280. It's 282. go. Oh, yeah, that's fine. So now I should do this. We'll do the second video. Should do something with all these crazy textures it makes with the one frame
Yeah.
denoise. We've got like folders and folders of these like one frame animations. They look awesome.
My headset just died. Be right back. And we're back.
Headseted. Trying to catch up on the old socials a little bit. Damn.
It's dangerous out there.
Yeah. Everybody mad. Everybody mad.
Mhm. What else is new?
Well, you have to be made. It's only a game. All right. Is this rendered yet? How we doing, Depthy? Almost. I think this one will be okay. Yeah, this will be better, I think. A little flickery, but that's okay. Save them images. So we are going to disconnect this stuff. It's running. Do you think? Right. And then down here to 140. Do it up. Yes, QR Monster Control Net. Both, Andy. Both. The QR code. I'm abusing the QR code Monster Control Net to not render QR codes, but render black and white masks, because it does a really good job of separating the black and white areas as different parts of the prompt. So like in the strawberries, for instance, it's where the waves are, it's more like table and cream and icing, and where it's black, it's more like strawberries and other stuff. So yeah, just depending on how you use the QR Monster Control Net, you can make it do weird stuff. I love it. The Looking Glass logo stuff, that's all the QR code Monster Control Net on like 1.2 weight, like really strong, and then it's just a black background with the Looking Glass logo animated on it. So okay, we got our depth maps. That's rendering. yeah, people have used it for the QR codes, but yeah, it's a lot more fun to use it wrong, like most things. All right, let's go back here and generate those clips while this renders. Cropping and wrapping. Comfy input, output, bleh. Want film, and we want you and you and depth maps, which are, we want clouds. Those look cloudy. We want clouds, and we want flower things. Nope, that's strawberries. Yeah. Copy here, paste these, and we want zoom, not position. Copy this one, paste these. We want zoom. Check it. Yep. X, deliver. Oh, we gotta go back. Deliver. LKG. Clouds left. Edit. Loop. Deliver. Yep. And same deal here. Call that cave flowers. Yep. And boop, 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 boop. You know? We've done our booping. We go here, go to our assembly and videos. And YouTube here, and we want to copy, then paste our position. Same deal here. Nice. Deliver LKG clouds and LKG cave flowers. Nice. Pause. Start that again. Oops, I think I ran the bridge twice. Should be fine. Looking Glass Studio.
Is the flowers one that was already playing on the portrait, is that interpolated too?
No, I don't think so. Oh, that one is very, very, very jiggly. This one might be a little too flickery. Your mileage may vary. Yeah, this one's very flickery. It's cool, but it doesn't look very good. So yeah, if it looks too flickery, it probably is. And cave flowers. Done that again. Looking Glass Studio. How do you look? Okay. Focus. Focus out. Yeah. It's jiggly too.
Jigglypuff.
Little too jiggly. Cool but jiggly. It's not too bad if you chill out on the depthiness a bit. Again, it's imperceptible on the camera. Yeah. Little too jiggly.
Is this SDXL?
No, it's 1.5. SDXL would take much longer, and you can do it now with the hotshot model though. I have to dig.
I was
into
looking at that yesterday, actually.
Yeah,
Hot shot
cool.
XL.
Cool.
That would make sense why I'm getting all these crazy errors.
All
I
right.
also don't have some of those checkpoints that you have.
Yeah, they're all on Civitai. You can just go grab whatever you like. Just grab any SD 1.5 checkpoint, and it'll work with this process. So after this animation, I'm gonna generate a depth run for it, and then we'll look on Looking Glass, and then I'll sign off for the night. So maybe we want to just reiterate the announcement for the contest again.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to do that.
Can do. So, thanks for watching so far. Or if you just happen to click on the video and you skip right to this part, well, good work. We have been, and by we I mean Purz, with the suggestions from the crowd, have been drafting up some magic using Stable Diffusion, and we want you to do the same, and not just that, but also be able to showcase it on your own Looking Glass potentially. So because of that, we'll be announcing a challenge in the next coming days. We'll shoot for tomorrow, but we are fallible humans. So maybe by the end of this week, you can expect to see on Purz's accounts as well as Looking Glass's accounts and my own an announcement about what the challenge is going to entail. But know that the prize is your very own holographic display. And all you have to do is bring creativity to the table. So
That's
stay
it.
tuned. And you could get your very own Looking Glass, which is a holographic display. Again, if you just happen to tune in or you swerved out to a different dimension and then came back to this one, it's a holographic display. You can view anything in 3D or anything in 2D on it in 3D, as though it were actually hovering within the confines of the display, which is pretty wild. You have to see it to believe it, kind of. I actually don't believe that's fully true, but it does help. And you could see it and many, many other people's creations if you win this challenge. So stay tuned. Subscribe to Purz's channel if you haven't already. Why are you watching this if you're not subscribed? And also check out some of the resources that have been dropped in the chat, since those are going to be ultimately helpful in your journey in Stable Diffusion land. Oh, I like that one. Ad is over. We're back. I like that one because it feels like it's going to stay pretty tight to the focal plane.
Yeah, this one could come really good. We'll see once it's done the interpolation. It might be the interpolation that's causing the flickeriness now that I think about it. I'm going to try just interpolating the 24 frame one, or depth mapping. I'm going to do some tests on that because I'm starting to think the interpolation is what's causing the flashes. So that's done. So let's grab the thingy. Do the image sequence. Temp. No, not temp. AI comfy output 1224. No. Found you. Do you. And blomp, blomp, blomp. All right. So let's generate the depth maps. Yep. Let's see what we hit with the old GPU-ometer here. So we're at 9 gigs. We're loading depth maps. We're at 10 gigs. Ooh, stay under 12, friend. Might be able to stay under 12 gigs for 512 by 512 Zoe. I think Zoe might be the piggiest of the depth map makers, at least VRAM wise. But it's also the least flickery.
Flicker away.
Yeah, we're only hitting 10 gigs, and I'm streaming, so I think you could definitely generate depth maps under on a 3060, like a 12 gig 3060. So that's good. We haven't crested over 11 yet. Kind of flickery. Now, I'm gonna do the exact same thing with the interpolated version, and we'll see if it's more flickerier. Most flickeriest. It's in film, and it's this one. This 0, 0. Select every once. Fine, and run one more. So we're gonna do a depth map from the interpolated version as well, and try that out and see if it's flickery. But right now, this version works. Looks okay. But it is my assumption that the interpolated version is going to be flickery as hell. Because it doesn't know what to do on the between frames. That's what I think. But I've been wrong so many times. To answer your question about is one method worse than the other, they seem to be using the exact same amount of VRAM for either a PNG sequence or a, assembled video.
Good to know.
81 degrees Celsius, just chilling. The PS4 controller that's sitting on top of my computer is so warm to the touch that it feels almost a little malleable.
Wow.
Remind me to take that off next time. Holy cow. Okay.
I accidentally overwrote the JSON, but luckily that's part of the beauty of this whole workflow.
No, it is not more flickery. So it was just the prompt. It was just the run, just the thing. So yeah, good. That's why we test theories, because feeling isn't science.
That's what Oppenheimer said, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That's the tagline for the movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so once this depth map's done, I'm going to pop it on the looking glass. I'll have a look at it, and then I'll sign off. It's been really fun with everybody here tonight, and I've had a really good time, and I really like everything you can do with Comfy, and I really like showing y'all how to do it. So if you like it, you want more, you want me to do this more often, hit up my Patreon, join up, and we'll do even more stuff. The more friendos I have, the more crazy stuff we can do together. So join the army, whatever you call it. Join the super fun AI treehouse that is my Discord server, and teach each other, and let's be friends.
The Purz posse.
Yeah, the Purz pals.
Purz pals.
It's less about me, more about creative exploration. That's why I've actually rebranded my Discord as Creative Exploration and made it a community. So it's no longer just about me, it's about us. So let's make some cool stuff together. Not going to sign off quite yet. I'm almost done here. We're just gonna just assemble this last video here in Resolve, and then we'll be done. So cropping. Let's crop our video. That's this one. And we need the depth map. So I'm losing my voice, you can tell. AI Comfy. Confer the depth maps. The latest one, the interpolated one. That's you. Okay. Drag you here. Yep. Same length. We love it. Control C, Alt V. Zoom. Control C, Alt V, zoom, bloop. Okay. And check it. Looks good. Yep. Okay. X selects the clip you're currently selected. Muted the first one. Deliver. Looking glass. Low poly diorama. Left. Add to queue. Render. Edit. Unmute. Deliver. Right. Render. Now we go to our assembly timeline. And we go to our videos folder where I just rendered this stuff. Videos. Refresh. Where's the latest videos? Did I not just save these? Am I blind? There. Down there for some reason. Yeah. And you. And then unlink the clips. Delete the audio. Drag this on top. Control C, Alt V, not zoom, but position. Control C, Alt V, not zoom, but position. Looking good. All right, X, deliver. Looking glass, low poly diorama. And we'll change it to MP4 and add to render queue. Bloop, and then we start this over again to avoid the bug, and blop, bloop, bloop, and fix the depthiness a bit here. Focus in, zoom in one, and oh, that looks really cool. It's a little flickery too, but it's pretty cool. Move the focus back a bit, depthiness in a bit. There we go. That looks really neat. So yeah, pretty quick workflow, really. I mean, 6 minutes to generate the animation, another 4 minutes to do the depth maps and slap it all together. You can pretty much crank one of these out, 140 frame animations every 10 minutes or so. Given your workflow and how much overhead and VRAM you're using. But yeah, I love it. So yeah, join the Discord and let's hang out and have some fun together. And look forward to the tweets and stuff tomorrow or the next day about the rules and the sort of how to get into the contest and stuff. Basic idea, just it'll be, make something cool and we'll pick the cool thing and that cool person gets a looking glass. Easy peasy. Thanks everyone.
Thanks for having me on.
And yeah, thanks for coming out, Arturo. I really appreciate it. And thanks for hanging out for the long haul.
Yeah, just been, dancing this whole time.
Yeah. Getting down. All right. Thank you again, everybody. And we'll see you again soon. I'll probably be back at this Thursday or Friday. Just depends on life. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.